we got number 13th ranked MISHA CIRKUNOV, man, who is making his middleweight debut against KRZYSZTOF JOTKO. And CIRKUNOV opens up as a plus 135 underdog against the minus 160 favorite in KRZYSZTOF JOTKO. So I need to ask you this, AJ. JOTKO, yeah, he could wrestle. You know, he has a lot of success wrestling against some of the smaller guys, right? CIRKUNOV is a big boy, though, man. Like I said, he's coming down from 205. This is literally his UFC 185-pound debut. He is literally known for taking the fight to the ground, submitting his opponents, and right off the bat, AJ, I see value in that plus 135. I see so much value in that because JOTKO, while he's a very technical boxer, like I said, he got the wrestling chops, don't get me wrong, but if you just smother him like the way CIRKUNOV does to the rest of his opponents, get him in these crazy submissions and whatnot, or just control the fight and win on points like that, that's like the easiest 135 you could pick. Why do you think JOTKO is a minus 160 favorite in this matchup, AJ?
I think it has to be recency bias on this one. JOTKO did look good in his last fight against Sean Strickland. He didn't get it done, but he looked really, really good. And you think of MISHA CIRKUNOV, when his last, he's very up and down. He's battling, but this was, like you said, it was in the 205-pound division class. So I definitely think it's a little bit of recency bias. The big guy's going to be cutting down. He's maybe feeling a little, not as strong, underpowered. Maybe the chin isn't there. All those issues that come with the big weight cut. But man, MISHA CIRKUNOV at 135 plus, that's a hell of a line right there. You definitely got to take that if you're betting on this one. And he's an absolute dog on the ground, man. You want to talk about ground game specialist. MISHA CIRKUNOV can get it done, whether it's offensive wrestling or, defensive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He can tap you out. He can ground and pound. This dude is trouble. And not only that, but on the feet, he has this sneaky left kick, man. It's either going to hit you low, it's going to hit you in the calf, it's going to hit you in the head. MISHA CIRKUNOV knows how to get it done in multiple ways. It's just going to be interesting how to see he gets it done in the 185-pound division, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. And when you're talking about recency bias, that's what confused me. Because I was like, okay, JOTKO's coming off of a loss. Yes, he beat Eric Anders, who is kind of that prototype of like a CIRKUNOV style. But CIRKUNOV is way more takedown heavy. He has a way better, beautiful power wrestling game. And listen, man, he's got those heavy body kicks that set up the takedowns. Because you don't want to take too much of those. You put your hands down. He's either coming over the top with the head kick or with the big punch, or he's coming in for that blast double. What's interesting, man, is you look at the people he's fought. It's kind of hard to knock him for the losses, right? For CIRKUNOV. Losses in his last 5 against Glover Teixeira. He's happened to be fighting for the 205 belt next. Okay. Johnny Walker. That's a dude who can knock out anybody with a single punch. We already know this, right? Ryan Spann. I mean, come on. Ryan Spann, what are we talking about here, right? Listen, he's a killer as well. And the wins he has is against Patrick Cummins, which is a big win, submitted him, and for Jimmy Crute, submitted him. And I think when he submitted Jimmy Crute, it was with a Peruvian necktie. So that goes to show the acumen of his Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Man, CIRKUNOV is a savage, man. And I got to respect it to the utmost, man. When you're able to get in there with the big boys, that's a bigger threat, AJ. Fighting at 205, deciding to take your opponent down and then get on your back and go for submissions against a dude like a Jimmy Crute who could just smash your face in. Against 205ers, I think that's why he probably moved down to 185, because he could have a more aggressive grappling game without the fear of I will get knocked out with one punch if I slip up, right? So with that being said, AJ, we got the switch fighter in CIRKUNOV. We got the southpaw in KRZYSZTOF JOTKO. How long do you think JOTKO will be able to keep this fight on the feet before CIRKUNOV gets it to the ground?
Ooh, I'm going minute and a half, man. Minute and a half. I think it's going to be quick. And especially because MISHA CIRKUNOV, man, he's smart. He's very, very smart. And once the chaos starts flying, once the mix-em-up actually happens, that's where CIRKUNOV shines the most to me, man. You make one little mistake, CIRKUNOV going to capitalize it. He's going to get you back. He's going to stay on top of you. He's going to start ground and pound, working his fight, man. What do you think? 1.5 plus or minus, what you think?
I'm going plus, and the reason why is because I think CIRKUNOV might be able to get the blast double and get JOTKO on his back, but I think JOTKO will probably be able to get up, right? You know what I mean? So it's one of those where it's like, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, it's a takedown, but not really, because you didn't keep them there. They got right back up to their feet. So I think it'll be one of those, and I think it'll be the later rounds when those takedowns will start sticking. And I think that's how, and to be honest with you, man, I'm going to give an early prediction. I think CIRKUNOV is going to have to edge this one out via decision, because I think JOTKO is very skilled. Don't get me wrong. He is by no means a slouch, right? I think it's easy to say, oh yeah, CIRKUNOV just walks in and submits him easy. You know what I'm saying? It could totally happen, but it could totally not happen. I mean, JOTKO in his 27 career fights has only been submitted once, right? So it's like this dude has fought a lot of fighting high-level people. You know, he's fought just a lot, and that's the point. He's very experienced, he's very technical, and he has really good counters off of his back foot, which is what a lot of fighters do not have. So when Cirkunov is trying to go crazy with the blast double, I would not be surprised to see him get caught on the way in, man. Jotko is very technical, very precise, like I said, but he's got that touch-him-up style, man. He doesn't really have that, I'm going to sit down and just crack you with it. He's like, I'm just going to touch you up. I'm going to, you know, just counter-strike, and that's the problem, though, right? We saw it against Sean Strickland. Is he just very... Kind of like what we're talking about for Cynthia Calvillo, just a little too accepting of being put on the back foot. You know, he's got good circling out, and he will, you know, attack the center of the cage at times. But too often, if there's a pressure fighter, he'll just move in circles the whole fight, man. Foot in the tire. You already know what time it is, man. When we're talking about notable wins, AJ, you know, MISHA CIRKUNOV has a win over against Nikita Krylov. Did you know that?
Not off the top of my head, man. No, it wasn't his last 5, so nah.
Yeah, that's a dangerous fight. He has a win over Jan Kutalaba. Come on, man. Jimmy Crute. But Nikita Krylov is the big one, man. Nikita Krylov is such a good wrestler. He's such a, you know what I mean? So to come in and submit him, right? You know what I mean? Submission round 1 for him. He's got a lot of first-round submissions, early-round submissions, man. So Jotko's going to have to be careful. I want to know what simulation, what alternate universe do you see where Jotko comes in and he just starches Cirkunov and it's not even close, man? Is that even a reality? Is that an option in the timeline?
One punch starch? I don't know, man. Not really, unless, you know, it just happens to be MISHA CIRKUNOV coming in just full force. Doesn't really see it happening, and Jotko uses his power against him. Because Jotko, he's very much, he likes to maintain the movement. He'll stay on his bike, likes to swing, you know. But with the biggest problem I see with Jotko is he gets a little tired, and then he starts throwing those big looping shots. Everything starts getting labored, man. He's really, really swinging wild for the fences. He does have a big left hand, so he can get it done. I just don't really see it against KRZYSTOF Jotko, man.
Let me ask you, what does it mean to you that KRZYSTOF Jotko is 9-5 in the UFC? What does that have any significance to you?
9-5, man. All his losses came in KRZYSTOF Jotko, right? All his losses have come in the UFC because he's 22-5, so that dude's fought a lot. Yeah, it's pretty significant because he's really starting to become really one of those middle of the ground fighters. He took Sean Strickland to a decision, which is a win in its own right. That dude didn't put you out. That's good, but you didn't get the dub. That's hard to say. So especially against big names like Brad Tavares, other people like that, he's started to kind of wilter a little bit in Jotko anyway.
Yeah, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done against Cirkunov for sure, but I'll tell you, he's a big man. You know, he's big. He's moderately young, 32 years old, man. So there's still a lot of room for Jotko to continue to grow and to do all the good stuff, man. But he also has an 87% takedown defense, man, so we'll see where that factors into this fight, man. Big wins over Eric Anders and Marc-Andre Barriault. Those are really the big notable wins in his UFC tenure so far, really his MMA career. But I think this should be a fun one. If Cirkunov decides to, like, let it stand up and bang, it might be a little bit of a slow dragger type if he just decides to lay on him the whole fight. But if he goes submission hunting, you got a lot of fun in store on that one, man. So I'm going MISHA CIRKUNOV, unanimous decision. Who you got, AJ?
Man, I'm going this one. Actually, I've been going back and forth on this one constantly. Literally, I think this one's a little bit closer than 160, 135. I'm going Jotko by decision, man. I think Jotko gets this done. I think he's going to maintain that distance and maintain that, like we said, that circling around. He can get himself in a little bit of trouble, but against a wrestler, if you're constantly circling and they can't get the takedown, that's where that 86% takedown defense is going to come into play. And I think it's going either way. It's going to be a long fight, and it's going to a decision. But like I said, I got KRZYSTOF Jotko on this one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I mean, with Cirkunov making his middleweight debut, let's see where the speed is at, man. Jotko might be able to just be too fast for him, you know, but when you're on the ground, none of that speed matters, right? So we'll see what happens, man.